Hu Tao, I understand that training new site reliability engineers is crucial, but why is it so important to establish trust within the team as part of this process?
Trust is the backbone of any successful SRE team. EI. Imagine you're on call and something breaks. You need to trust that your teammates know the system inside out, can diagnose issues, and aren't afraid to ask for help or make critical decisions under pressure.
That makes sense. When you say they need to know the system, what specific objectives do new SREs have to achieve before they are deemed ready to handle such responsibilities?
That's where things get interesting. New SREs must learn to maintain their systems, understand how they work, and react swiftly to unexpected issues. This involves a mix of theory and application, knowing when to follow procedures and when to improvise.
It sounds like a robust education is necessary. How do you cater to the different learning preferences of each new hire?
We offer diverse learning experiences. It's like tending to different plants in a garden. You cater to their needs differently. Some learn best through hands-on experiences, while others thrive on theoretical learning. It's about striking the right balance.
Could you elaborate on the recommended educational practices? How do Google's methods differ from approaches that might not be as effective?
Absolutely. For instance, designing concrete learning paths is highly effective. You guide newbies through structured experiences that build confidence and skill. In contrast, throwing them into the deep end with endless repetitive tasks like ticket triage isn't productive in the long run.
I see. So giving someone too much menial work might not prepare them adequately. What about reverse engineering and working from fundamental principles? How does this help?
Encouraging reverse engineering sharpens their problem-solving skills and helps them understand systems at a deeper level. It's like unraveling a mystery. Once you understand the basics, you can face any challenge with a clearer mind.
That sounds incredibly useful. Are there any practices that should be avoided in training these engineers?
Definitely. Relying solely on procedures and checklists can be limiting. While methods are essential, they shouldn't restrict an engineer's ability to think critically during emergencies.
What about after-action reviews or post-mortems? How do they play into developing trust and competence?
Postmortems are essential for learning from past incidents without pointing fingers. Analyzing these failures helps the team grow collectively, reinforcing trust and improving everyone's understanding of complex systems.
I'm curious about hands-on exercises. How do role-playing disaster scenarios factor into SRE education?
Role-playing theoretical disasters allows the team to practice problem-solving in a controlled environment. It's much like a pianist practicing scales before a concert, preparing them for when it truly counts.
And how does shadowing current on-call engineers contribute to the training process?
Shadowing lets newbies observe the real deal, watching how experienced SREs handle pressure. It demystifies the process and builds confidence, knowing they are part of a capable team that has their back.
You've painted a vivid picture of these educational methods. Are there other interesting practices you'd recommend?
Pairing new hires with seasoned experts is invaluable. Together, they can revise and update parts of the training, making sure it's always relevant and up to date, which keeps everyone learning.
I see. The continuous nature of learning surprised me. How does this ongoing education impact those who are more seasoned on the team?
It keeps everyone on their toes. Sharing knowledge with newer members ensures even the veterans stay refreshed. It's a mutual growth process where teaching becomes as informative as learning.
It seems like a well-balanced ecosystem of education and practice. Finally, what's the ultimate goal for these new SREs once their training is considered complete?
The ultimate goal is autonomy at the front line. Once they're ready to go on call, they should be able to handle unexpected situations independently, while knowing when to seek help. It's a rite of passage that signifies their readiness to fully join the ranks.
Thank you for sharing these insights, Hu Tao. It's fascinating how trust and continuous learning are intertwined in the realm of SRE training.
You're welcome, Ei. It's quite the adventure, and each team member's journey enriches the whole group. Just like leading mortals to the afterlife is for me, Every journey is unique.
I'm eager to hear more about these educational practices as we continue. Could you tell me about it next time we meet?
Of course, there's always more to explore, especially when preparing the next generation to tackle the unknown. Stay curious, and you'll find that the next path is even more thrilling.
Hu Tao, I'm curious about the structured learning paths you mentioned. Why are they favored over more chaotic onboarding methods for new SREs?
Structured learning is like guiding a spirit to the afterlife. You're leading them carefully and deliberately. It prevents new SREs from feeling overwhelmed by chaos and gives them a clear trajectory from basic understanding to mastery.
I see, so the structured approach helps manage the chaos. But what is the problem with the trial by fire method that some teams still use?
Trial by fire throws newbies into the depths without a float. It assumes they'll figure things out through sheer panic. While some might thrive, many get burned out or disheartened before they truly learn anything substantial.
That sounds counterproductive. With structured paths, how do you balance theoretical learning and practical application?
It's all about integration. You must weave theory with practice to create a tapestry of understanding. Start with fundamental concepts, and then give them hands-on projects to cement that knowledge.
Can you provide an example of how a sequential learning path might look?
Certainly. Imagine starting with how queries enter the system. This begins their journey through networks and data centers, then onto front-end servers, and gradually building up to the infrastructure as a whole.
And each part builds on the last, I presume?
Exactly. Like stacking blocks, each piece provides a solid foundation for the next. It ensures that knowledge accumulates logically and meaningfully.
How do you ensure that these learning paths cater to the different learning styles of each new engineer?
By mixing up the delivery. Use a variety of methods, from whiteboard discussions and formal lectures to immersive, hands-on discovery exercises. It's like crafting a meal to suit different palates.
That's intriguing. What about project work specifically? How does it contribute to meaningful learning experiences?
Project work gives new SREs a sense of ownership and responsibility. Even small tasks teach them about the system's intricacies. It's like giving them a part of the underworld to care for.
Ownership seems crucial. Does it impact their professional growth significantly?
Absolutely. Ownership turns rookies into confident engineers who feel invested in their systems. It fosters both trust and competence essential for thriving on an SRE team.
With structured learning paths and project work, how do you ensure that new hires don't face burnout?
Balancing the tempo is key. Allow breathing room, encourage questions, and provide support. It's not about hastening their journey, but about enriching it.
That makes sense. With this approach, how do new SREs build the necessary skills to eventually go on call?
The sequential learning builds both knowledge and confidence. By the time they're ready, they understand the systems and their own rules within them, prepared to face the unknown.
It sounds like a well-thought-out process. What role do mentors play in this structured learning environment?
Mentors are like guiding lanterns. They light the path, provide feedback, and help novices navigate the complexities of their learning journey, making the transition smoother and more rewarding.
Interesting. With mentors involved, how does feedback play into refining the learning process?
Feedback is nourishing, like water to plants. It helps refine methods and address gaps in understanding, ensuring the path remains clear and effective for each learner.
So would you say this approach not only builds skills, but also reinforces a culture of continuous learning?
Exactly. It's a cycle where teaching and learning perpetuate growth and innovation, keeps the spirits fresh and the team vibrant.
Do the experienced SREs also gain from this structured approach?
Oh, definitely. Sharing knowledge with newcomers often reveals new insights even for the seasoned. It's like scattering petals from my garden. They enrich wherever they fall.
It's fascinating how the cycle of learning and sharing knowledge is intertwined. Are there additional benefits to structuring onboarding this way?
Yes, structured learning reduces the churn of information and boosts retention, creating a harmonious flow that supports individual and collective progression.
This sounds like such a holistic approach, Hu Tao. Are there any challenges that teams might face when implementing it?
Sticking to structure requires commitment and flexibility. There might be hiccups to address while adjusting to new needs or unexpected challenges. But these are growth opportunities, like pruning a tree for better blooms.
And how do you envision the role of continuous feedback in addressing these challenges?
Continuous feedback acts as the gardener's touch, fine-tuning the process and ensuring every bit of the learning garden thrives to its fullest potential.
You've made structured learning paths sound quite enticing, Hu Tao. I'm eager to dive deeper into these methods as we explore further.
The journey of learning is never dull. Each day brings new discoveries, and I'm excited to guide you through more of them, just as we prepare the living for the road ahead in my line of work.
Indeed, I look forward to our next session. Tell me more about how project work cultivates that sense of ownership when we continue. Hu Tao, I find the shift towards skill development in SREs quite fascinating. What are the key skills new SREs need to hone?
Those key skills are like the tools you carry in your electro arsenal. For SREs, mastering reverse engineering, statistical thinking, and improvisational problem solving are crucial.
Reverse engineering sounds intriguing. How does this skill benefit an SRE?
Reverse engineering is about understanding how systems operate, especially ones you're unfamiliar with or haven't interacted with before. It's like unraveling the secrets of a mysterious realm, one piece at a time.
So it's about backtracking through the system to comprehend its design.
Precisely. By doing so, an SRE learns how to diagnose and fix issues as they unearth how everything connects. It builds intuition, allowing them to pinpoint problems faster in the future.
That does sound vital. Could you elaborate on the role of statistical thinking?
Statistical thinking. It's like seeing the forest for the trees. SREs use it to identify patterns and outliers within complex systems, much like piecing together constellations in the night sky.
An interesting analogy. How does it aid in problem solving?
With statistical thinking, SREs can analyze data trends and make informed decisions, rather than just following fixed procedures. It's about using the numbers to tell a story, and finding where things deviate from the norm.
And when systems go awry, statistical thinking comes into play.
Exactly. It's crucial for narrowing down potential issues during an incident. Like predicting the flow of river currents, it helps guide an SRE through a sea of possibilities to a solution.
Improve is another skill you mentioned. How does improvisational problem solving fit into the SRE skill set?
Think of it like a dance. Improvisational problem solving allows SREs to adapt without the constraints of a step-by-step plan. When the usual methods falter, they can think on their feet and devise new approaches.
Much like confronting unexpected challenges in a duel.
Exactly. In an outage, time is of the essence. An SRE must be able to pivot quickly using alternative tactics to resolve the issue.
It sounds like these skills prepare SREs for any curveball thrown their way. How do you develop them practically?
One effective method is through classes that challenge SREs to reverse engineer an entire production service without prior guidance, like solving a puzzle from scratch.
That sounds daunting but exhilarating. How does it benefit them?
This approach fosters curiosity and adaptability, encouraging SREs to dive deep into the nitty-gritty, ask the right questions, and become self-reliant in their problem-solving.
So they learn by doing, with correction only where needed.
Precisely. It's about learning the ropes through first-hand experience, then refining their understanding with occasional guidance to fill gaps.
This reverse engineering exercise must also bolster their confidence.
Absolutely. It gives them assurance that they can handle unknowns, knowing they've navigated complexity before and emerged wiser.
And as they grow, the reliance on experienced guidance diminishes.
Exactly. Like a spirit finding its way to the next world, they develop enough competence to travel their path independently, with mentors focusing on further refinement.
In all these skills working together form the foundation of a capable SRE, I presume.
Correct, EI. With these skills, an SRE becomes like a skilled conductor able to orchestrate harmony across complex systems, ensuring stability and efficiency.
It's a comprehensive training method, Hu Tao. Are there other practical examples of how they can develop these skills?
Certainly. Beyond classes, participating in simulations, tackling real-world challenges, and collaborating on projects also sharpen these attributes effectively.
Collaborative projects sound especially beneficial. They must allow for shared learning experiences.
Definitely. Project work encourages teamwork, sharing of insights, and mutual growth, much like a troupe of performers relying on each other's strengths during a play.
And through these shared endeavors, they build trust within the team.
Exactly. EI, trust becomes the thread that ties the team together, ensuring everyone moves forward with confidence and collective wisdom.
Your insight into these skills is enlightening, Hu Tao. I'm curious to know how they transition from these exercises into real-world applications.
That transition is like stepping from practice into the battlefield. They're not only equipped but also empowered to apply what they've learned when real systems challenge them.
I would love to delve deeper into their practical applications next time, Hu Tao.
I'd be delighted to continue sharing. Every story told enriches us both, much like guiding spirits to their ultimate rest.
Hu Tao, as we move into the realm of advanced learning for SREs, what are the key avenues through which they continue to grow?
It's quite the journey, you see. Continued growth comes through engaging deeply with practices like reading postmortems, role-playing disaster scenarios, and gaining hands-on experience with live systems.
Reading postmortem sounds intriguing. How does that contribute to an SRE's ongoing education?
Postmortems are like stories of past mishaps, EI. They allow SREs to learn from previous incidents without making the same mistakes. It's understanding what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how to prevent it in the future, all without pointing fingers.
That sounds invaluable. Are these postmortems accessible to all team members?
Yes, indeed. They're shared widely, fostering a culture of transparency and collective learning. Newbies and veterans alike dive into them, drawing lessons that are relevant to their systems.
Are there any specific rituals around discussing these postmortems?
Oh, for sure. Some teams hold post-mortem reading clubs where they discuss them as a group. It's a time for SREs to reflect and extract valuable insights, much like savoring a good tale.
What about disaster role-playing? How does that fit into their education?
Think of it like a play where everyone learns their lines. Role-playing disaster scenarios lets SREs practice their responses to theoretical outages in a controlled setting. It keeps their problem-solving sharp and ready for unexpected events.
That reminds me of strategic drills. Does it include aspects of creativity and quick thinking?
Exactly. It's all about improvising and adapting to new situations on the fly. Participants must think on their feet, like a conductor managing unexpected musical mishaps during a performance.
What benefits do SREs gain from hands-on exercises with real systems?
Hands-on practice is like navigating uncharted waters. SREs get to interact with real environments, learning directly from them, which enhances their ability to respond to actual system issues when they occur.
Are these exercises extensive?
They sure are. SREs might handle controlled system breakages, locate issues, and troubleshoot in real time, which builds resilience and critical thinking.
It's fascinating how these experiences contribute to their competence. Tell me about shadowing experienced SREs.
Shadowing is akin to an apprentice watching a master at work. It allows newer SREs to observe how experts handle situations in real time, absorbing the wisdom passed down through observation.
Is there a structured way to implement this shadowing?
Typically, newbies observe various team members handle their shifts, learning diverse approaches. Over time, they're trusted with greater responsibilities, gradually joining the on-call rotation.
What role does reverse shadowing play in this educational journey?
Reverse shadowing flips the usual dynamic. The newbie becomes the primary problem solver, with an experienced SRE sitting back ready to assist if needed. This boosts confidence and independence.
That sounds empowering. How does it ensure they remain competent and informed?
It reinforces self-reliance, As they take the lead with potential safety nets, they learn to trust their own judgment while knowing support is there if absolutely needed.
It seems like ongoing engagement is crucial. How do teams maintain this environment of continuous learning?
By embedding these practices into their culture, making it routine to revisit knowledge, challenge assumptions, and stay curious. Learning never truly ends, much like our own quests for enlightenment, EI.
And this continuous learning ensures they keep up with rapid changes.
Exactly. Gliding through an ever-shifting technological landscape requires constant learning. It prepares the team for everything the future holds.
You've described a rich tapestry of growth, Hu Tao. Can all of this make a true impact on the proficiency of SREs?
Absolutely. Each practice builds layers of understanding and foresight, polishing their skills and fostering a community where everyone grows together.
Do you foresee any challenges with maintaining this continuous growth?
The challenge lies in keeping the momentum, It takes conscious effort to sustain engagement and not let the routine become mundane. Yet, with passionate SREs, the fire of curiosity keeps burning.
It's inspiring to think about the future of such dedicated teams. How do you see this affecting the broader SRE community?
It sets a standard. When teams thrive on learning and adaptability, they inspire others, raising the bar and spreading successful practices across the whole SRE community.
A ripple effect of excellence, then.
Exactly. It's like planting seeds that grow into mighty trees, spreading their shade far and wide.
I look forward to seeing how these practices evolve with time, Hu Tao.
Me too, Just like guiding souls, the path of learning for SREs is endless and full of wonders, ready to unfold with every step.
Until next time, I'll reflect on these insights. There's much to learn from SRE's relentless pursuit of excellence.
Indeed, their journey is much like any adventure, not without its perils, but ever so rewarding. Until next we meet, may your curiosity never wane.